Welcome back to another Sludge Productions video. Today we are covering the Duskmourn Precon commanders. It is currently September 3rd, 2024. Duskmourn releases on September 27th, and that means that we are 3 weeks away from Duskmourn, which means spoilers. So we are going through all of the Precon commander spoilers, and for this video we are covering Zimone Mystery Unraveler, which is a 4-mana cinematic commander. Before we get into Zimone, I'd just like to ask if you enjoy this type of content, leave a like on the video and subscribe to stay tuned for more Magic content like this. Zimone is a 4-mana cinematic commander, 3/3 human wizard, which has landfall. Whenever a land you control enters Manifest Dread, if this is the first time this ability has resolved this turn. Otherwise, you may turn a permanent you control face up. And to Manifest Dread, we look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one onto the battlefield face down as a 2/2 creature, and the other into your graveyard. Turn it face up anytime for its mana cost if it's a creature card. So this is an absolutely bonkers card in the 99 of Kadena decks. And so we can't mention turning cards face up without mentioning our most popular commander within that archetype, Kadena Slinking Sorcerer, which is a Sultai commander, 3/3 Naga Wizard. The first face down creature spell you cast cost 3 less to cast. And whenever face down creature enters a battlefield under your control, draw a card. So this is great in Kadena because, of course, Kadena helps you ramp on the way down by making your morph spells, for example, free. And then with Zimone, you can turn them up if you get 2 landfall triggers in a single turn, which is super easy with any sort of fetch land effect. Also, Animar is also another popular morph commander that I think that this would work very well in. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to be talking about Zimone as her own commander. Now, when we look in the 99 of what Zimone decks are looking to be doing, we have to talk about the 3-card infinite combo that comes to mind immediately, and props to Reddit for figuring this out 3 seconds after Zimone was spoiled. If you have Zimone on the field with a Eudora Grave Gardener and then an Altar of Dementia or any sack outlet, it's just that Altar of Dementia allows you to win the game off of the milling effects. If you have Zimone out and then you need another non-token creature, you can sack the non-token creature. It will come back via Eudora face down as a forest land. Then with Zimone, assuming that her first landfall trigger has already happened, so if it's at least the second landfall trigger, then it will trigger the face down creature to turn face up, no longer being a forest land. And so you are right back where you started. And so you loop that a bunch of times, and with Altar of Dementia, you can mill people out and then basically immediately win the game from there. So a nice little combo there, but even outside of infinite combos, Zimone is just quite powerful within the face down archetype. So Brine Elemental is going to be crazy good because if you have that cast for 3 face down, and then you just play a fetch land, again, the 2 landfall triggers is such a low bar to clear. So if you play any fetch land, then you get to essentially turn it face up for only 3, and so for 3 mana you end up forcing each opponent to skip their next untapped step, which is pretty crazy. And there's other payoffs such as Thousand Winds, for example. When it's turned face up, return all other tapped creatures to their owner's hands, so a nice pseudo Cyclonic Rift type of effect. And of course there are some of the vegetable ingredients for this type of deck. So Trail of Mystery, for example, 2-mana enchantment. Whenever a face down creature enters a battlefield under your control, you may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle, and then whenever a permanent you control's turn face up, if it's a creature, gets ++2 until end of turn. And then of course Secret Plans, whenever a permanent you control's turn face up, draw a card. So a little bit of payoff there for Zimone turning things face up. So these decks tend to generally play where you are, throwing things down in the early game as morphs, and then all of a sudden you're going to turn face up a bunch of creatures, and now you have an army to actually swing out with. And then if you play some sort of overrun effect, Overwhelming Stampede, Creative Behemoth, all the sort of standard green overruns, then you can close out the game from there. Now, there's a couple of other tech options here that I've included that you might consider for a Zimone deck. There's Omartha's Ghostfire Initiate, which it says when it dies, manifest a number of cards from the top of your library equal to the number of counters on it. So you can spam a bunch of manifests out on the field, and you can maybe even throw in like a +1/+1 counter sub-theme, which Simic, of course, is very good at. And then Whisperwood Elemental is a 5-mana 4/4 at the beginning of your end step, manifest the top card of your library. So that's great just on its own, but then you you can sack it until end of turn, face up non-token creatures you control gain when this creature dies, manifest the top card of your library. So let's say you're, Magical Christmas Land, you're lining up a bunch of blockers that are going to die, and then you sack them before damage to then manifest a whole army, and then theoretically, next turn with Zimone on the field, you can turn a bunch of them face up as you play lots and lots of lands. So that is Zimone Mystery Unraveler. I think that she is quite a powerful commander. The problem is that we've seen this before, right? Morph and manifest and disguise and cloak. Wizards keeps reiterating on the same basic mechanic here. I think that the design is good, however, because while it does care about landfall, which Simic is known for, it doesn't do just the generic Simic thing of ramping out lands and then drawing cards. So instead, it pays you off for those landfall triggers. I think you can definitely build around it as a commander, and it also is just amazing in 99s. So I do really, really like the design. Personally, I guess I'm not really drawn to build a Zimone, just because I've never been a fan of the sort of face down archetype, but I know some people are. If you want to be very tricksy, it's a very fun archetype to play with. But Zimone Mystery Unraveler, lots of power possible here, but I think that she is probably better in the 99 of a Kadena deck, when all things are said and accounted for. So that is Zimone. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like on it, and also check out all of the other Precon Commander coverage videos that will be coming out here soon. I'll have them up as fast as I can edit and produce them. So that's what you guys think of for watching once again. Subscribe, like the video, and all that stuff, and we'll see you all in the next one.